What's up, Facebook family? Good morning to you. Hey, hope everything is going well in your world. Wanted to talk to you about a couple of things today with Limzell Johnson and Life Versation. And this is your weekday challenge coming to you live on the drive in. Two things I want to talk about: know your game and know your lane. Okay, let me say it again: know your game and know your lane. And so I want to talk real quickly about know your game. Although the game of football, basketball, soccer, tennis, you name it, all those games have a particular rules that apply. They have particular rules to apply in it and everything like that. However, if you're playing the game of basketball, you can't take those rules of basketball over into football or tennis or soccer or whatever. They're not the same rules. And so what I mean by know your game is that you have to recognize what game you're in and what rules are needed to apply or to be applied and to be able to win and play accordingly within that game. Otherwise, you're looking at it like, oh man, I thought that this was going to work. Well, no, it's not, because you're not playing in the right game. And so in life, you have to recognize what game you're in. What are you going after? What are the things for yourself personally that you're saying, hey, I'm focused here and I'm going here? So I want to challenge you and direct you and just say, hey, look, know the game that you're in. And when you're in that game, you have to recognize the rules that apply to it and be able to give it all you got. Okay? Know your game. The second point I want to talk about is know your lane. Okay? Back in the day, believe it or not, I used to run track. And it was one thing that I did when I was first starting to run track. I would actually start off and I would go and I start looking at my competition, those guys that I knew that had a very big competition of winning. I knew their style, I knew how they were running, everything. And so sometimes I would get to that starting line and recognize the competition that I had, and I would change my style. I'd be like, well, maybe I need to change up a little bit to win this race and all that. And so when I start looking at my competition and looking at those people around me, even the circumstances around me, I started changing. And so I was more of being reactive. I was reacting to what I saw or what was around me. But if I changed my focus and I started being proactive, I started recognizing that I had to remember what my coach taught me. I had to remember my strengths and remember what I could do. And I was out there. And I tell you this, and I want you to get this: the competition wasn't necessarily those people I was running against. It was really against myself. Because if I really looked at it correctly, I really recognized I was trying to beat my time. I may not come out there and beat anybody else, but if I was out there to beat my time and I did my best, then that's what it was actually required. And so I want to encourage you in life to look at not necessarily the people that you're around, the competition. I mean, Burger King, the Burger King McDonald's scenario. Burger King is not trying to compete, quote unquote, against McDonald's. I mean, they're like, hey, we do burgers well. That's what we do. McDonald's, you do fries well. Do what you do best. Find out your niche, your area, your lane, and then recognize that I'm not competing against the other person, but I want to do the best that I can give each and every time, so I know what I'm beating myself every time. All right? If your competition is finite right here, then you'll recognize you'll be frustrated, you'll be disappointed, you'll be let down, and you'll be trying to do a little bit more tomorrow and all that. No, it's not those people around you. Your competition is directly against yourself. Understand your focus, your vision, push yourself. Your goal should be to be better than who you were yesterday, okay? You can do it. You can push it into the next level if you remember these two things: know your game and the rules that apply to that, and then know your lane to be able to give it all you got, that you're competing against yourself. Stay in that lane and run the best that you can run, no matter how good the competition is, because in the end, it's about you beating your score. Okay? I'm Limzell Johnson. This has been your Life Versation moment. Hey, check us out on the World Wide Web at lifeversation.com. I put the little link right there on the screen for you. So like us, share it with your friends about knowing your game and knowing your lane, okay? And those two things hopefully will help you out this week as you try to apply it, all right? Until now, keep looking up. Until next time, brother, keep looking up. I'm Limzell Johnson.